You're watching 13 on your side.
Well, the pandemic has certainly made us think twice about a lot of things that we have to do. The work from home orders have given many of us pause to think about how our time is spent. So recently, Sweden conducted a study on the benefits of a 6-hour workday, and Elizza LeJeune, a social worker with Pine Crest Mental Health Services, is here to give us some perspective on how this might be beneficial. And there was a poll out on LinkedIn when this article came out, and a very large percentage of people, over 70%, thought this was a great idea. What is it about that 6-hour workday that makes people so happy?
I think that people get excited about the possibilities, right? The possibilities regarding time. I think during this pandemic, we've learned a lot that a lot of us can do our jobs from home, as well as the flexibility of how do we manage work and life at the same time, and how can this be a benefit to us? The ability to pursue our passions, to be happier by being out in nature, going for walks, and also being more productive by kind of taking out some of those extra meetings in our days that maybe we feel like could have been an email, or just finding time to really declutter our lives so we're productive and we make the most of the time that we have to enjoy the time at home.
Yeah, I think sometimes the pandemic has done a hard reset to make you reprioritize, what's important in your life. In this study, Swedish researchers found that people were far more productive on a 6-hour workday. They had better attitudes at work, and they actually called in sick less. Why do you think that is?
I think that our lives really kind of operate, or before the pandemic, because I feel like life now is a totally different new normal, right? The state of stress and always having to be on the go and doing something that we feel like will reap some type of benefit or reward. And a lot of that self-care and physical health wasn't involved in it for a lot of people. And I think that the idea of having more time at home frees up that space to be like, hey, well, maybe I can make it to a gym or work out outside or read a book or do a spiritual practice in prayer and feel much better. And I think that helps alleviate some of that stress that might contribute to sickness, right? As well as when you're overstressed at work, you might have higher rates of blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes. There's so many different things when you have the office parties with all of the sugary donuts and then
Right, for
going home
sure.
and working out.
And sometimes I think that if you have that mental state of like, it's only 6 hours, like sometimes that just makes you happier to think that maybe you're getting something that you normally don't. So there's a lot that could be going into the study that maybe we're reading into.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of research has shown that 8-hour workdays aren't really the most productive for a lot of people. Our bodies operate off of natural rhythms, and we're most productive mid-morning and then in the afternoon. And those 8 hour straights are really hard to do. And I think a lot of parents are also seeing that with homeschooling their kids or virtual learning of like around this time, my kid's probably done and tuned out. And if we could split up the day, that would be beneficial.
So perhaps maybe the pandemic has done something positive. It made us rethink our work days, how work is done, whether it's at home or on shorter hours. And I guess we'll just have to see where it all ends up. Thank you so much, Elizza, for joining us today and giving us some perspective on this. If you would like to read the Swedish study, I've got a link to it on our website, 13onyourside.com.